Hi, my name is Brian. Let's talk a little bit about how to close a sales call. If you do calls, right, if you do over the telephone sales, now closing a sales call can be difficult because it's harder to build trust and rapport. It's easier to do that face-to-face than it is to do over the telephone. But it is possible. And I'm going to give you a couple of techniques here that you can use to help you close more sales over the phone, to get more yeses, to consummate more sales. One of the first things that you can do to close a sales call now is to ask for the sale. I know that sounds unbelievably obvious, but you would be shocked how many salespeople never actually ask for the sale. And here's the thing, you may have to ask multiple times. A lot of times, people don't give you their real core objection right off the bat. You'd be talking to them and they'll say, well, it's too expensive. Now, a lot of times, salespeople have a tendency to get defensive. And when they hear an objection like that, right, and they want to go to battle with the prospect, right? No, it's not too expensive. Look at the quality. Look at this. Look at that. Here's what you can do to avoid that confrontation and to get on their side of the table, to get on their side. When someone says to you something like, it's too expensive, you can say, well, what could you afford? Now you've put the ball back in their court, and now you're acting as an advisor. So maybe they come back to you now and they say, well, we can't afford $1,200, but we could do $1,000. And here's the part where you get to ask for the sale. You can say, well, if I can get this deal to work for $1,000, would you be ready to buy? And if they say yes, well, then you're golden, right? As long as you can make that happen, obviously, right? If they say no, then you can continue on with asking them more questions. And they'd say, well, no, we wouldn't be ready to buy. I would say, okay, well, you said that you could afford that. If you're not ready to buy at that price, what is holding you back? See, you're acting as an advisor. You're finding out what do they need. If you just ask the question, most of the times they'll tell you. And they'll tell you, well, it doesn't have as many features as I'd like. And you could say, well, what features are important to you? See, do you understand? You always feed it back to them and ask them questions to find out what did they need, what is their desire, what is their need. And then they come back and say, well, it's got to have more robust customer service. And you might say, well, if I can show you how the customer service could meet your expectations, would you be ready to buy? Right? So they're always going to tell you what they need. And if it's within your power to give them that, chances are you can close the sale over the phone. Recently I've been using these techniques. I've been using these techniques for 20 years to get remarkable results. But recently I've actually been getting a lot of sales closed online without ever picking up the telephone. If you'd be interested in finding a way to use online internet marketing and effective video sales techniques to generate business, then click on the link I put below. It'll take you to workingwithbrian.com. I'll show you a blueprint that I used to double my business in 1 month. And it's all running in the background. It's really, really spectacular. And I do that in conjunction with traditional sales like I've always done. But hopefully those sales techniques will help you close more sales over the phone.